All right, showing you the SPY chart before I go into the watch list video for Monday, February 26th. Real quick, a reminder, our next free webinar is this Thursday, so show up if you can. Need you to get registered to save your seat, and we'll have a link. If you're not on our email list, which the link will be in our emails every night while we put out these watch list videos, you can look in the description to this video, and we'll have a link to get registered for this webinar. It's going to be the 40 things you'll never hear us say about day trading, but it's not just a list of 40 things. It's going to be educational. We're going to explain why you won't hear us say this or why you won't hear us say that. So I definitely think you'll learn something, and we're going to have a little fun too. May have a couple drinks while we do it. Not the usual time at the closing bell. We're doing it at 7:30 on Thursday. So get registered, and we'll see you there. And let's get into the watches. I really like the fact that, you know, the SPY, let's take Friday's candle out of it. I really like the fact that we had this big bounce from the 200-day, and then it started to look like it was rolling over. And a few days ago, you heard me say that I really like the strength in this market, and it feels really good, and I think the chaos is behind us, but it needs to kind of find a new comfort zone, if you will. Anyway, I love the fact that it's right back up near the recent highs of that bounce. I'm hoping this short volatility ETF unwind is pretty much behind us, and we can go back to trading stocks based on their charts and their news and all that stuff again. All right, so the market feels pretty darn bullish to me. And here's what I'm watching for Monday. NIHD, 15 million shares traded place, and it ends up busting through $1 from wherever it started, 60-something cents. You generally don't want to chase something after a big move, but that one's going to be on watch all week. And sometimes the very next day we get a low risk red to green, and it goes again. So absolutely going to have that one on a chart. KMPH was halted for good news, FDA approval, I believe. And when it came out of the halt, we had a really nice pop, but it settled in at $6. So really nice volume for this stock, and we're certainly going to watch that one on Monday. ADMP gapped up and had a pretty nice day, actually, but the volume, I definitely want to watch this one again on Monday. Really big volume day and closed fairly strong. I would point out that it is one of those nickel spreaders, so be aware of that. ANTH is hanging on, right? Had this big pop, then a lower high, then a lower high, but you basically had it open and close right about the same price, and it almost did the same thing on Thursday as well. So, you know, I don't think it's going to stay at this price. It's either, to me, going to break to the upside or to the downside soon. But I really like the volume here on this initial pop, and I like the way it's holding up. So I'm kind of leaning long on that one. We'll see. We'll see if it gives a low-risk setup. MOSY, you have kind of like a high back here, then a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, right? So you can kind of picture a trend line. I generally don't draw them. And then, but if you picture a line from here to here to here, we did break out of that trend line on a little bit of extra volume on Friday. So looking for, you know, if this thing can go red to green and then take out Friday's high on Monday, then you've got the whole number 2 above, which could become an inflection point. If you haven't watched our inflection point webinar, that's on our free list of webinars. I think there's a link to that in the description of this video as well, all of our free webinars. So if you get through the whole number inflection point 2, you've got this high from November that was 210, and I view that, a break of that, as a catalyst for higher prices. So this one's set up for a possible follow-through day on Monday. GNC had the gap up and then came right back down into support over a couple days. Extra volume, little volume pop on Friday. I think they got a price target increase or something like that. Fairly strong close, so we'll see if that one can continue upside momentum on Monday. CALA still coiled after this big volume spike here. It's still putting in lower highs. Very, very coiled though. This one looks good over 810, over 815, somewhere around there. It might just retest the highs of that big volume day that took it to 870. So pretty good chart setup there. WKHS I have found to be kind of a nasty, kind of a tough trader. But again, you have a series of, you know, you had a high back here, lower high, and it kind of broke these lower highs right here, but then right back down, then broke this high right here, and then right back down. And now you've got a high right below this high and an inside day on Friday. So this had news, I believe, working to, from the ground up, build a electric vehicle for, I think it was UPS. So if UPS is going to have a fleet of electric vehicles and WKHS is working with them, that's really big news. So I like the inside day underneath the Thursday's high, and then another potential catalyst right here. So chart-wise, it's a pretty good setup. You just want to be careful with this one because it can be kind of a nasty trader. So I like it over Friday's high, over 323, looking for a pretty quick push through 331, and then your next catalyst would be 345 or 346, a break of this 345 high. So you have what I call stacked catalysts on the chart. We'll see if it gives any kind of setup and plays out on Monday. SNPS had this nasty day on Thursday and kind of a quiet day closing near its highs on Friday. So I still think this one has potential and some room to bounce. We'll see, right? I only take trades with a proper intraday setup and make sure I'm not fighting the overall market at the time it sets up too. KBR, nasty, ugly day. If you look at the chart going back, you don't see a candle this big to the downside going all the way back to last April. So it has some support in this area too, right in front of the 1450 area back here, bounced off of 1450 here, and it got down to that area in a big, quick way on Friday. I actually, at the end of the day, put out in the chat room I was going to bid, or an idea to bid in the 1450s if it got there, because it was kind of getting that already down big on the day and getting that kind of extra shape change, and it got down to 1460 and then bounced back through 15. Kevin M. in our chat room kind of put this back on my radar. I'd been watching it earlier in the day, never took a trade in it. Kevin M. put this back on my radar. Could have had a decent little late day trade there. I just didn't catch it. My bid was a little bit lower. My bid idea was a little bit low. I didn't actually bid on it, but I said that's where I would have bidded on it. I don't like trading in the last 10, 15, 20 minutes of the day, so I wasn't willing to take a trade there, and I'd already had a decent day. So, but anyway, this one goes back on watch for a nice potential bounce. I love the big candle down into support, so we'll see. BKD was on bounce watch going into kind of the same reason, beating up stock. Not sitting in any support that I can find on the chart though, but another red day on Friday. Had that nasty day on Thursday, another red day on Friday. Certainly an ugly chart, right? You might even think no one should be looking at the chart and thinking long at all, and I wouldn't even really argue with you. But with a proper setup, something that's really beaten up like this can give a pretty nice bounce in one day. So it goes on a chart, but it's one of my least favorite going into Monday. And then SRCL, another really beaten up one, and then had then it takes out that whole number 60, but a nice reversal intraday on Friday. I think this one has potential to bounce some more. We'll see. Add to all these a list of gap plays that we're going to find on Monday morning in the pre-market, and we're going to have plenty to watch, maybe even too much. So anyway, looking forward to trading next week. We'll see everybody on Monday.